So, hello everybody. Happy Thursday night. Just really quick, I wanted to share a few of my thoughts, and then I wanted to read a verse. I started reading the letters in the New Testament again. I read the Gospels, and I'm pretty confident that I read them like word by word and spend a lot more time on them. The letters, I'm not so sure, and I can't remember where I left off. So I just started with the Romans, and I started on that today. Um, and this is a while ago. So either way, I just need some background music. So, and then I just wanted to kind of, share what my thoughts are on current events, of course. So I was reminded, I wasn't reminded, but I kind of connected the fact that recently there was a producer from Hollywood hired by the January 6th Commission, which, by the way, if you read my my Twitter trolling tweets, I mentioned there, and I'll mention it here again, that I really feel that it should be commemorated. If you were a bigger person, if you were a true leader, is you would say, hey, you know what? These people, they came out here, they want to talk to us, they want us, like they want to have an explanation. But the certainty that the elections are accurate, that there was no fraudulence and that kind of thing. And um, I mean, you know what? These people are kind of like they're absurd, but being absurd is part of of how they play their mind games with innocent, naive people. Unfortunately, that you have to wait for them to catch up. In the meantime, is you have to protect them too from these people, these tyrants. I'm really just preparing my kids to be able to deal with tyranny at this point. It's kind of like, look, you're going to be on your own eventually, and this is what the world is like. And yeah, the streets are bad, but you know what? If you just keep to yourself, stay out of trouble. Like, don't, nobody's going to mess with you. Just stay. It's going to be more so people that are in power that are going to be the people that are going to really mess with your life. And there's going to be people like street people that are going to want to play like lord it over you in whatever way they can, whether it's an ex, or a jealous like girlfriend of some guy that you might be friends with. And just like the people that think that they're the people that want to lord it over you, because really inside they're inferior. They have an inferiority issue, and that's what they think gets them ahead. So either way, I wanted to say that, and I didn't lose track. I did just want to say that if it was commemorated, it would make you a bigger person. And I think that really the whole message there was, if you just had a more controlled way to listen to your constituents and really listen to them. Like, don't send polls that ask you, do you agree with the Inflation Reduction Act? And then when you say no, there's no other questions for you. Like, if you don't agree with Jimmy Gomez, that's it. Okay, you don't agree with this one. Bye. See you later. I'm like, okay. He doesn't want to know what, he doesn't care. He is making himself out to be a career politician, which we should all be afraid of. I mean, be afraid for your kids. Maybe for you is, I can deal with these guys, but your kids and then their kids. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's taking her son to Taiwan now. They're so cynical. People are going on trips. Next thing you know, Hunter's taking his son, and it's like a big cynical like laugh in our faces, like, ha ha, we go to, we travel with our kids, ha ha ha. Like, huh, yeah. Yeah, like we're gonna fall for that, as if they're so stupid and they don't understand that they're corrupted and that we're on to them, how much they like want to do like the whole pay to play thing. um so either way, I mean, they're a laugh. They're total Yeah, they're no good. So, so I just wanted to talk about um, a comment that Nancy Pelosi made. She said, "Oh well, actually, I was back. I'm gonna back. I'm gonna backtrack to what I was saying about putting the horse. I'm sorry, putting the carriage ahead of the horse each time, and this is done because they're trying to trigger some kind of reaction from people. Again, the naive people that don't know, that like can't they don't want to admit to themselves that people are just frauds because they feel responsible. I mean, seriously, like this is like the classic, you know, male takes advantage of a weak female scenario where and if the man starts to get abusive, the female starts to, and this is all dependent on age. I mean, this is psychological, right? Like the woman starts to feel that it's her fault, and they don't want to see outside of who the person really is. Well, this is all the Democrats are doing. It's psychological games on everybody, and there's people that don't want to admit it because they're either not ready, or they just haven't gotten screwed enough, or they're just happily screwed. They're just like, I'm just going to be screwed because for whatever, they are like Hollywood actresses that don't care to jump in the on the couch with some like dirty producer that funds Democrats, and that's how they get by. um so either way, it's a psychological game. They're definitely putting um they're just trying to create a story in your mind to cast doubt on a person, and so they did hire a Hollywood producer to stage this whole raid thing. It's not going their way, but you know what, they're also just acting as like the bigger people because they are trying to provoke Trump supporters. Unfortunately for them, as Trump supporters aren't these ignorant, naive youngsters that are going to go out and like burn down cities. Like we're just kind of like, yeah, we get upset and we're going to call people out on it. And then we're going to wait and do things, through the proper channels. And in the meantime, we're going to get mad. And yes, there's going to be a few kooks. Which, by the way, if we had an opportunity, if people had an opportunity to find out more, we could possibly find out that it wasn't motivated by a conservative, a Republican, maybe even a moderate Democrat. It was just a coup that a Democrat paid off, possibly provoked to go and like as they do, I think, with mass shootings. Like they're just provocateurs. That's how they are going to get away with everything. So yes, I do think that these are basically products of apostasy. I feel that they are also happily ignorant. They don't want to face their conscience, they because it's so filthy and dirty. I mean, I mean, they can't be alone with their conscience, trust me, and they will be alone with their conscience one day, and it's going to be scary. And I'm not going to have anything to do with it. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I basically I give myself my own exorcisms like every here and there. I'm just like, no. Like I'm gonna have my reality match what's in my conscience and in my mind. So get the heck out of here, Satan, whatever this thing is, the hijacking of my mind, my train of thought, whatever you want to call it, brain waves. Either way, so yeah, I definitely think it's just they're hoping that if they put people under enough pressure that if eventually is you're going to side with them, then they're going to have you in their pockets, and then you're just going to be another chip that can be used to maneuver through what other heists and basically, cons they want to run through the world in the faces of decent and honest people that are really counting on them. Like I can see that by gangsters. I'm seriously like I really like that's how I know. But I'm seeing this with these people, and now I'm realizing, like, wait a second, these are the leaders. This is where gangsters have taken their cues. Like, this is how I know. Like, what happened to me has a lot to do with who was like, who actually, like, cultivated that kind of mentality. And it's been people that have obviously encouraged and allowed it, and it would be people that we have in office now, or that type. So yeah, I think that's really all I had to say. I mean, there's obviously, um I mean, it's not something that you can. Well, anyhow, I'm done there. I want to get on, and if I come back to that, I will. But so I want to talk about what Nancy Pelosi said about being above the law, and she was so proud of herself. Like, any chance they get to, like, pretend to be the bigger person, like, you know, like, and they're playing on people that are so gullible. I mean, I watch people that are like, but and, like, justifying and finding excuses, and it's like, oh my god, like, no, like, you have no place influencing anybody. Like, please don't. You're like, like, a security risk on people's lives, because people shouldn't make excuses for others when they're not behaving at par with the minimum expectation that we should all have, amongst ourselves. And that basically means is, stop the fucking bullshit. Okay. So when Nancy Pelosi says that nobody's above the law, and she's just, like, so excited to finally be able to say that, because, like, she's, like, involved in inside trading. She's, involved in covering for her, her relatives DUIs, and who knows what else. I mean, really, just everything else, like, her lack of propriety in dealing with a former president, with a president while he was in presidency, is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It should be embarrassing to her, and it makes me feel embarrassed. But I do think that also, that twisting the law to your advantage and avoiding legislation that benefits you is a much worse way to be above the law, because what you're saying is, like, well, if we wanted to raid anybody, hey, you're not above the law, Missy. But guess what? Why don't you write legislation where you're no longer able to be an inside trader and get rich on the backs of everybody? And then also, why don't you, like, not appoint judges to your husband's DUI case, where he's going to get off the hook or get off easy on driving under the influence, when we don't even know the whole story, where there's um comments or whispers. Hearsay, who cares? Hearsay is probably true. I mean, hearsay is hearsay. Hearsay sometimes, more often than not, I would say, I would think. I mean, maybe there's gonna be times that people are gonna mislead. That would be you. So you would know that. And knowing you, I know that. But that is being above the law. That's being above the law. Okay? So stop. So how do you compete with that? I'm asking to myself, once you find your oppressed group with these Democrats, then you have to put up Democrats, putting what am I saying? Like, that's it. Is you have to find your oppressed group, and then they have your back, and you have their back, and everything's fine. They get rich, you get poor, and life goes on, and everything's fine and dandy. Well, no, thank you. So, plus they're only acting spited, yeah, over the riots. I already kind of touched on that. All right, so I think that was everything. I'm super tired. Um, I haven't been sleeping that well, but yeah. So I just made these few notes. Just wanted to share that with you. Just I think, kind of share a new perspective on how to think. Like, don't just kind of go by what people say. Look at what they do, try and match it up, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of talent out there, and we're being, we're being held back. We're being held back because, and I'm the type of person that is okay with being, uniform, like being more, progressing on a uniform, um, scale. You gradually kind of get to a better place in this world together, and I live by that. I'm not like somebody that's just gonna go and like take heads and, try and be like cutthroat or anything. So either way, just had to get those things off my back because, I like people to know who I am, and I don't like people to confuse me, and I don't like people to think that I don't know who I am, because I do. And and so you have to share who you are. Oh, there's fireworks outside. Sorry, I'm startled. Okay, so, I'm gonna go out and watch the full moon tonight. I think it comes out soon, maybe 9:30ish or so. So anyhow, enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you next time. Bye.